and welcome to another message from the heart. This is Pastor Mikey with Biker Church USA in Columbia, South Carolina. Have you ever been at work and had someone come in and notice something that needed to be done and said something only to hear the response, "It's not my job"? You know, we are real quick to notice what needs to be done, and we're even quicker to say, "It's not my job." The one thing that we don't do is we're not very quick at accepting our responsibility in doing the job that needs to be done. You know, that's something that's followed us since we were children. At my house, whenever I was coming up, we had a not me ghost. You see, when something would get done and our parents would come home and say, "Who did this?" we were very quick to say, "Not me." Well, that not me ghost followed us all the way up into adulthood. So whenever somebody notices that something needs to be done and says something, first thing we do, "It's not my job, not me, I'm not responsible." And the thing is, that attitude follows us into the church. You see, we go into the church and we get comfortable and we see things that need to be done or things that need to be addressed, but we don't do it because we believe that somebody else is supposed to. Winning the lost, oh, that's the pastor's job. It's the pastor's job to grow the church. It's the pastor's job to preach and teach. And all we got to do is just sit back. But we miss the boat. We miss that Great Commission whenever it says, "Go into all the nations and make disciples, teaching them in the ways of righteousness." Well, who's going to teach them? Who's going to disciple them? Who's going to be the ones doing the work? We expect the pastor, but he's only one man. He can only do so much. Jesus said that he came to seek and to save that which is lost. And if we sit back and we watch people continuously falling into hell, then we're guilty of depraved indifference. What are we supposed to be doing? In Jude verses 22 and 23 it says, "And on some have compassion, making a distinction, but others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garments defiled by the flesh." We're supposed to, with reckless abandon, go out and to seek and to save that which is lost. When we see that these people have no clue, no idea what it is that they're facing, and we know it, how much do we hate them to not open our mouths and share what scares us so much that we don't have enough compassion to say, "You're coming to a cliff, you're gonna fall, you're gonna die"? Would we let that neighbor's child fall into the swimming pool and drown and do nothing? Or would we run over there and snatch him out of the water onto dry land and save them? Folks, that's what we are called to do. That is what everybody within the church is supposed to be doing. If you claim the name of Christ, if you believe that he is who he says he is, that he died on the cross for your sins, you also got to believe that he died on the cross for their sins, so that whenever they stand before God on Judgment Day, that they can be found righteous by the blood of Christ. Or his forgiveness only good enough for you and not someone else? We have to face that. We have to answer that. We have to be the ones to go out and to seek and to save that which is lost. We cannot wait for somebody else to do it for us. One day we're going to stand before God, and Jesus is going to be there. And Jesus said that whoever acknowledges me before man, I will acknowledge him before before the Father, but whoever denies me before man, I will deny him before the Father. Folks, that should be sobering. That should bring fear. I know it does for me, because on that day, to stand there and to recognize Christ for who he is, what he is, and to have him turn to the Father and say, this one I never knew. How horrible. What a waste of a life to know and to not do, to not share. Folks, we need to realize that we no longer live in a time where you can build a building, put a marquee out front that says church, and people will just come. That time is long since past. If the church is going to grow today, it's going to grow because people of faith who believe go out and actively seek to save those that are lost. Folks, it's our job, not somebody else's. If we don't do it, we can't expect someone else to do it. This is something to think about. Until next time, this is Pastor Mikey with Biker Church USA with another message from the heart.